This is Boxing Tickets, and we are delighted to be joined with our good friend in Dublin, Robbie Burke. How are you, Robbie?
Not too bad, see how we keeping all right.
Things are fantastic. I'm obviously we're a couple of days out now from obviously Jay's Razor Fall card, and obviously I remember the last time I seen you, obviously down in Dublin. You're like a vampire, sort of. It's like a Halloween night, obviously with the blood and the stitches and everything else. How's it? That was obviously back in March. How's the eye been healing?
Yeah, it's not too bad now. I've got 11 stitches on the night. So look, it's not that healing up grand now, but it took its time. I had a shoulder injury from the fight as well. So look, I'm back punching, back loving it again, you know, right back in the club and that.
Obviously, and so, I guess in a lot of ways, and I think we'd said it in the night, you'd probably have Andy O'Neill to obviously thank for a lot of it because, a lot of the times Andy's sort of ringside doesn't really have a lot of work to do other than spraying people with a proper 12 bottle. But in some ways, you probably Andy to thank for prolonging your career because 11 stitches, obviously, if he hadn't kept that cut right during the fight, you probably wouldn't have been fighting again.
Ah, big time. No, I have a lot, have to thank Andy a lot, to be honest, like, because, like, the way he was, like, between each round, like, only had 60 seconds, and, like, it was looking like they were going to call at one stage, so, like, big thanks to Andy and Phil in the corner that night, you know?
And Andy's obviously, since then, obviously, he's become world famous, obviously, out in Saudi. Two world title fights, two wins. I think he's undefeated in Saudi, obviously, three fights out there. Willy, Hutchinson, Nick Ball, and anto cacace. And Turkey Al Shahik's his best friend now as well. So we were sort of maybe hoping in some ways they kept Andy over there to give us all that a piece.
I don't know about that now. I don't know about that. Don't think we get him away.
What's the whole carry on with obviously him sending you the breakfast things on a Saturday? Is this cheap meal on a Saturdays allowed?
Andy called out a few months back. He wanted to do for me to do my full plan and that, get trained and get back fit and that. And so you know what happened, you know.
So he sends you his healthy breakfast on a Saturday, and he thinks that's enough for the week.
Yeah, and then the whiskey on the Sunday.
And maybe the Saturday night and under the Sunday. It's obviously we haven't seen you obviously since this will be the second obviously JB show since then. Has it just been more a time of letting the eye heal properly before you get back into the ring again? When do we sort of expect to see you out? Jay's obviously mentioned this September 5v5 card, so I'm guessing you're probably not too far away from returning.
Yeah, well, look, I'm to be honest, hopefully September I'll be out now. Like, I seen the interview that you did with Jay, and that's where like I saw me and Graham being mentioned. So I rang Jay up straight away when I seen it, and Jay was saying, "Look, I think it's a great fight." I said that myself. Look, and it's definitely a fight that get me geared up and get going again. There's plenty of time as well. What to be 10 weeks from now. So Jay got on to Ian. I don't know the full story of what way it's gonna be, but look, we're up for the fight anyway. So look, and Graham's a nice fella. He's look at we admire Graham's career and him as a person. He's 100% here. So be great if we can get that fight over the line. Be good for the fans as well.
I guess obviously, at the stage you are, Robin, I hope you won't mind me saying, obviously at 35, you probably don't have a long time left in the sport. So you want decent fights. You probably don't want to keep fighting journeyman. You want to have a memorable fight, win, lose, or draw, sort of thing. You want something to get you out of bed in the morning rather than, oh, I'm fighting a journeyman I'm not even going to remember their name. You obviously had your domestic dust up and short notice with Jamie Morrissey before. And, there is no losers in a domestic fight either. That's ones that get people out of the house to come and buy tickets off you.
Look, as they always said to Jay, I saw him with Jay at the start of the year. I said, look, Jay, whatever happens, I'm going to give it all. And this is me last year. So, look, whatever we can do in the year now, look, it hasn't been great with getting the cut, getting the shoulder injury and that. But look, we're back now. Still 6 months to go. So, look, hopefully we can get 2 or 3 in regardless, I'll be finished by the end of the year. But like, so hopefully we can get 1 or 2 dust ups. And anyways, I want good fights. I want domestic fights now, and that's it. Then we'll wrap it up.
Obviously, when you look at a potential fight with Graham McCormack, what sort of weight would that be at? Would that be super middle? Where would the weight sort of? I'm just trying to think. Obviously, if there is no Graham McCormack, say potentially there, is there anybody else that may be of interest to you? Not that you want to call anybody out.
No, like me and Jay had a chat, and we'll go between Superman middle and middleweight. So like, if Graham would want to fight at middleweight, we go for middleweight. If he wants a catch weight, it's not going to be for the title. If it's a 6 rounder, we could go between both. You know, that way you can make that up. But like, we have to get a fight over the line before we can agree to anything else. You know, that way. But like, there's no one in particular. Just when I seen you had the interview up and my name was mentioned, so that's what's at there. Just give me the gill and get me back in there now. Get me back trying to
gives you the buzz. So if every week we obviously tag you with somebody else, it'll obviously give you a D up at the weekend. But like, as you say, this is your last year in the sport. You want to have these opportunities. You don't want to be going out in a whimper of going, oh, I wanted this fight and it didn't happen. I wanted this fight, it didn't happen. You're just happy to fight whoever, and it's not necessarily you're being nasty to anybody. You can be the nice guy. Somebody wants to dance, let's dance, and that's all it can be.
That's it. Look, I want an exciting fight. I want to be getting going. I want to be ready for. I'm going to be ready for whoever comes. Whoever, like, I'll be out there, no bother. Like, and I'm fighting. Like, I've never said no to a fight either. So look, we just have to see what comes. You know, that way. I'll leave it to Jay, because I'm not going to be going out calling anyone out. It's not me game, you know, that way. But I never say no to a fight either. So look, anyone out there is looking, you know, that way.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Anybody around the 160, 168 mark wants a dance, get in touch with Jay or get in touch with yourself, and you can do the tango.
That's it. Yeah, 100%.
I was going to say, are you going to the card on Friday?
Yeah, I'll be there. Peter's boxing out from the rules will be up there supporting Peter, and that Deco was supposed to be on the show. He's not on the show anymore. So look, we'll definitely be at the show and that as well. Yeah.
What have obviously made a Peter start? They obviously, I guess everybody's known of the talent he's had. But what have you made this start? Obviously, it's his third pro fight of the year, and he just seems to be no nonsense sort of type. Heavy with both hands. Like, I know Phil Sutcliffe Senior is obviously liking him. Obviously his son. The fact he's a very heavy hitting fighter. Like, he's putting bums in seats as well, and that's what everybody wants.
Yeah, look, Peter's a very good fighter, but he's a hard hitter, and he's a very talented lad. Like, he's a good boxer. He's a great brain, and he has balls as well. So like, I'm excited to see what Peter does in his career, because look, he'll fight anyone. He'll get in there and he'll show us. So look, we'll be supporting him all the way. You know, like.
Definitely, and it just seems to be. And I know he's been mentioned obviously in the 5v5 as well against Sean Murray, who obviously was supposed to fight Dominic Donegan this weekend as well. So like, domestic fights are sort of where it's at. You've been involved in domestic fights. It gives you that extra incentive. They put a bit more into the gym when you know that it's a fight that you want to be remembered for, as a domestic fight.
I would have wished I got the time in the gym. It was 3-day notice for me and Jamie. So like, it was only 3 days notice. Like, we just took it. It was basically to save the show. The two of us took it, like, you know, right? So it'd be nice to do again, all right. With a bit of preparation, like.
Would that be one you would be open to again? Would be the Jamie match?
Look, I'm sure Jamie would. Look, now, the highest respect for Jamie. He's an absolute champ. He is 2-time Celtic champion as well. So I mean, you have to give credit where credit's due. But yeah, of course, look, if it was put to me, yeah, and definitely with a bit of time and preparation for a camp, yeah, look, if it was made, no problem at all. Like.
Definitely. I guess as fighters will fight regardless, but sometimes it's making sense. And I say, if you can take the fight in a couple of days' notice, you've no problem taking the fight at 9 or 10 weeks' notice.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
You
So I like, that was an exciting week. I have to say, like, just everything was all over the place. The card was off, then it's on. Will we fight? Super middle. I had to get down to then in the 3 day notice. So it's all over the place, but it was good, great experience. Like the learning you learn from it, all right, it was great. Like,
And it was pretty much still within the pandemic as well. Like I obviously recorded it and I still have the fight on YouTube. But that was like during the sort of back end of COVID as well, and
yeah,
you look obviously, Jamie came out of that with you, then obviously became the Celtic champion in Scotland, won it a second weight, fought in the Katie Taylor card. He sort of lavished it all up, and it's a proven theory. Like if you're happy to go into domestic fights, there's plenty there.
yeah, the opportunities came to Jamie in fair play. He took them like with both hands. So give credit where credit's due. 100% fair play to him. Like,
Definitely. Well, look, Robert. Obviously, it's great catching up with you. We'll obviously no doubt see you on Friday night. You'll obviously be in the warehouse as well. But hopefully, fingers crossed. Obviously, someone reaches out. Maybe Graham, maybe Jamie, whoever. Obviously, around the middleweight, super middleweight
yeah,
division. We can give you the sort of send off. The obviously your boxing career by the end of this year.
yeah, please God,
All right, Robbie.
please. All right,
Not a problem. I'll
thanks,
catch up with you
Rob.
on Friday.
All right, I'll
Cheers.
see you
Take care.
Friday.
Thanks.
Bye,
Bye.
bye,
Bye. Bye.
bye, bye.